Hey, guys, out to these Pelzer here, your voice manager. I coming to you with another special in this series. Guys, you know that this Boys to Men series has been absolutely amazing. You've heard some awesome men from all around the world who have been sharing their father stories or dad stories to really impact and educate and empower the listeners to know that you are not alone. And guess what? Somebody out there has a story that's similar to yours, and they can definitely be that guidance for you. So with that being said, I'm excited to bring you another guest, and that is Lindsay. Lindsay, hello, how are you?
Hi, Alto, how are you? Good.
I'm doing well. Let the Speakeasy podcast listeners know a little bit about you, and then we'll dive into today's topic.
Okay, thank you, Alto. Thank you for the invitation also. I'm very well honored to be part of your live chats like this. My name is Lindsay Mnguni. I'm from South Africa and I'm speaking to you in America. We had a bit of a problem with the time, didn't we?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But we're getting it all together. So, Lindsay, let's start it out with my first question is what is a dad story that really has made an impact on you? A dad story or a father story that has really made an impact on you?
Yeah, that's a difficult one. But you know what? I'll try and answer as honestly as I can. Growing up, didn't have my father, so that's the most impactful story that I can tell you. I didn't have my father because my mom and father had separated, and my mother was left to fend for herself and the children, whilst my father was in Johannesburg. I'm from KwaZulu Natal in South Africa, in the province of South Africa. So my father was a migrant worker in Johannesburg. Unfortunately, he went there and he never came back at some stage. So we grew up without a father, me and my two brothers and my mother.
Now, how do you see that as affecting what you do now? Because I know what you do. But the Speakeasy podcast listeners don't know what you do. So Lindsay is actually a firefighter, and I had the opportunity to hear about his story through a mutual friend, through Fraser, who's actually in Scotland, another world away, right? Uh, but how did
Yeah,
how did that have an impact on you going into being a firefighter?
even before being a firefighter, even before becoming a firefighter, it had a very great impact in how I grew up and how I understood life. Because I had to, have father figures, especially that we didn't have a home, so we were homeless, so to speak, even though we were having relatives who took care of us in terms of accommodation. So we had to, be dependable upon many, father figures, uncles, relatives, and you don't really have contact with your own father. So that created a bit of, resentment and low self-esteem, low confidence, but also, have a vision to say, I will not let this to happen to my children. So this is how I'm trying to reverse that cycle, taking care of my own family.
I love it. I love
Alto.
it. Now, I know also that you have written a book. I've seen you do so many different things. And, being that voice and being that guidance when it comes to reversing, the status quo and reversing what you endured, have you found there to be challenges in you stepping forward and saying, you know what, I'm going to be the one to reverse this? What have been some of the barriers that you've kind of come up against?
Also, as a determined person, I just told myself I'm not going to let any pain to happen to all of my beloved, even the community. So I had to develop a tender heart, even though I'm a Zulu with the fight spirit, but I had to think before I do things. So I sat down as a youngster and I said, I wish and I pray for all the best in life, and I'm going to work hard for it and not to take shortcuts. So I went out there and tried to impress people that could influence, change my life. Eventually, I got employment and I went to work in the sawmilling industry, which is connected to the forestry industry. And whilst I was working there, I didn't have favor with some of the people, so I resigned eventually and started looking for a job. And here I am as a firefighter. That was in 2000 when I became a firefighter. So 20 years later, I'm still enjoying it.
So, what has been your most memorable moment as a firefighter?
Yo, then I'll have to single out one memory, but I've got so many. Uh, Mostly it's sad memories because it's major calls that will come up to your mind when you think of memories. But the soft, subtle moments are there every day. So to single out a single moment where I can tell you of good memory, I've got good memories every day at work. But the bad memories with the major calls where you see some stuff, unbearable pain that people endure or experience. But yeah, I can just say honestly, so the best moment in my firefighting career is when I did the city of Tsane as a firefighter, because that was the most secure job that I could ever get. And it happened, when the city phoned me to say, congratulations, I've got the job. We were busy arranging for my father Nera. So we didn't have money as a family, and we were like worried where we're going to get money for the funeral. And there was tension between the two families, the one in Gauteng and the one in KZN. So it wasn't a good, moment per se. But when they still phoned me and told everybody that was around, I've just been employed, then some ease came into the situation, and we were all congratulating each other. So I think that was one of the beautiful memories that I can tell you when I got the employment opportunity.
Oh my goodness, I absolutely love it. I know that many of those who are listening to the Speakeasy podcast, there's so many different things that come about. Um, when you don't have that father figure in the home to begin with, and then you think, oh, well, let me just do whatever. Let me not have a goal. Let me not have a focus. And for you to have that focus, and in 2000, here it is. You became the firefighter, and because that takes dedication. That it does. I have a younger brother who went through the training here, so yeah, it takes dedication.
Yes, thanks. I think the person to give credit here is my mother and also my wife, who trained me to be this person that I am. My mother, when I was growing up, she's a Christian, and she also influenced my faith as a Christian. So it and my brothers and so forth. So we needed to have this respect for humanity, respect for everything, not to hurt people because we know how it feels like to be hurt. So then I when I grew up, I had a vision of having somebody that can be like my mother instead, in the sense of taking a wife. And luckily, when I met my girlfriend, she met the criteria. So she's been with me since, and because we understand each other, and she's also advising me. They say behind every successful man is a beautiful woman. So she's that woman.
I definitely have to agree with you there. Wow, that's major. That's definitely, it's powerful. Um, I know so many people go through things when it comes to, getting married, and man, listen, when you find that one, hold
Happily,
on to that one. Yes, when you find that one, hold on to that one. So, Lindsay, before we leave out, Speakeasy podcast listeners, I've been bringing you these amazing guests this month. I'm super excited because guess what? It's not over. There's even more coming. But I want you, Lindsay, to let them know where they can find you at online and how they can connect with you as well.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. I'm an author and I'm trying to mark myself as much as I can. And this opportunity that you've given me surely has opened many doors for me. People can get me online on Facebook, mostly on Facebook, but then I also interact with other people on LinkedIn, once in a while, Instagram, and Twitter. My handle is Lindsay Z Mnguni. On Twitter is at Lindsay Z Mnguni. And people can phone me on South African cell phone, which is +27 72 643 9195. My book is doing well on Amazon. It's selling on Amazon, ebook as well as a hard copy, paperback. So
Yes, I absolutely love it. Speakeasy podcast listeners, I hope you have been tuning in. Make sure that you're sharing it out. Let us know how this episode resonated with you by joining the conversation. bit.ly/World Voice Community. We appreciate you in all that you do. And until next time, guys, don't forget to press it out. See ya.